All right, so get ready to dive into Amsterdam. We got a Wikipedia article from one of you listeners, and let me tell you, Amsterdam is way more than just, windmills and canals. I mean, did you know it's built on millions of wooden poles?
Millions. It's wild, isn't it?
It's crazy. And get this, its canals are a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yeah, they're really iconic. What I find so fascinating is how, a city built on a swamp could become this, global powerhouse, you know?
Right. Okay, so starting with the basics, Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands. But here's the thing. The government actually operates from The Hague, which is 60 kilometers away. I mean, how does that even work?
It's kind of a historical quirk. So Amsterdam has always been the big dog, economically speaking, the most important city.
Right.
But The Hague, it's been the political center of the Netherlands for centuries, so they each have their own thing going on.
Makes sense. Okay, but before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go back to the beginning. How did Amsterdam even get its name?
Well, the name itself tells a story. Amstelrydam literally means a dam in the Amstel River.
Okay.
So back in the 13th century, they built a dam on the Amstel River. This little fishing village popped up around it. And boom, the seed for this global city was planted.
I love that. From a little fishing village. Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting. Amsterdam is built on millions of wooden poles. And I'm not even exaggerating.
Nope, not exaggerating at all.
Millions of them.
The ground there is basically marshland.
Oh, right.
So to build anything, they needed a solid foundation, and these poles, they're driven deep into the earth, act like stilts holding the whole city up.
So the whole city is on stilts.
Pretty much. Even major structures like the Central Train Station and the Royal Palace are built this way.
No way. So wait, the train station?
Yeah.
It's on poles.
It is, on 8,600 of them to be exact.
8,600 poles just for the train station?
Just for the train station. And the Royal Palace. Almost 14,000 poles.
That's mind-boggling. I'm trying to picture this, the engineering involved in all of this.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and it must have had a huge impact on how the buildings looked, right?
Oh, absolutely. They couldn't build wide structures on poles, so they just went up. That's why you see those narrow, tall houses all over Amsterdam.
That explains it. Those skinny little houses. They're so cute. Okay, I have to ask about the canals. You can't picture Amsterdam without them.
Right, they're just so picturesque.
They're like the veins of the city or something.
Yeah, they were the city's lifeline. Especially during its golden age.
Oh, yeah?
Canals transported everything. Goods, people. They connected Amsterdam to the whole world.
Makes sense. They're a UNESCO World Heritage Site then.
For sure.
So they're not just pretty, they're historically significant too.
Exactly.
But here's a fun fact from the article. They used to base taxes on the width of a building's canal frontage.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So the narrower your house, the less you paid.
That's the idea. It's another reason why those narrow houses are so prevalent. They literally squeeze their homes to save on taxes.
Talk about a unique urban landscape shaped by tax policy.
Right.
It's amazing how everything is connected, right? So speaking of a golden age, this Wikipedia article mentions that Amsterdam experienced one in the 17th century.
The Dutch Golden Age.
Yeah, what exactly made it so golden?
Well, imagine this. The Netherlands, a pretty small country, right? They were a global superpower. They dominated trade routes.
Really?
And it was all centered around Amsterdam. It was their golden age.
Okay.
The Dutch East India Company, you've heard of them, right?
Vaguely.
They were one of the first multinational corporations.
Oh, wow.
And they were established right there in Amsterdam.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to see the picture. The Dutch East India Company. Yeah, now I remember from history class. Weren't they big on the spice trade?
Huge. Spices like cloves and nutmeg, they were highly sought after in Europe, and they were flowing into Amsterdam through their vast trade network.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this brought incredible wealth to the city, and you can still see the legacy of this era in those grand canal houses, the warehouses, all built during that time.
So from a humble fishing village to a spice-fueled economic powerhouse.
It's quite the story.
What a journey. And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no, not at all.
Amsterdam continues to evolve.
Absolutely. Modern Amsterdam is still a major player, but now it's more of a hub for tourism, technology, and finance.
Technology, huh? What kind of technology? Is there a specific area they excel in?
Yeah, Amsterdam is particularly known for fintech, financial technology, and sustainable urban solutions. They're really trying to create a smart and green city for the future.
Okay, that's fascinating. So they've got a good mix of old and new, traditional and cutting edge. Now, we got to talk about this. Amsterdam's known for its liberal policies, specifically its approach to cannabis and the red light district.
Right, you're talking about the coffee shops in Douala.
Yeah, exactly.
Amsterdam definitely has a reputation for tolerance, a pragmatic approach to social issues. So coffee shops where cannabis is sold and consumed are a well-known aspect of the city.
Yeah.
And the red light district, Douala, is a legalized and regulated zone for sex work.
Okay.
These policies, they reflect a different perspective on personal freedom and social control than you might find in other places.
It's definitely a different approach than many other countries take.
For sure.
But haven't there been debates about the impact of these policies, particularly on tourism?
Oh, absolutely. There have been lots of discussions and ongoing adjustments to these policies.
Yeah.
It's a complex issue that Amsterdam is constantly, evaluating and adapting to.
So they're not just setting a policy and forgetting about it.
Right, exactly. It's an ongoing process.
Okay, so, you think about getting around in a city like that, and it can't be easy, right?
Well, you'd think that, but actually Amsterdam is famous for being incredibly bike-friendly.
Oh, right. Bikes.
Yeah, they've got a huge network of bike paths, and cycling is deeply ingrained in their culture. Honestly, you see more bikes than cars there.
I can only imagine. I've heard stories about the bike traffic in Amsterdam.
It can be intense.
But this Wikipedia article mentions something even more surprising. An underwater bike parking garage.
Yep, it's real.
An underwater bike garage.
Seriously. It's right near the central station and can hold 11,000 bikes.
11,000 bikes. That's more bikes than some towns have, people.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? It really speaks to their commitment to, cycling and innovative urban planning.
Okay, Amsterdam just shot to the top of my travel list.
I highly recommend a visit.
It's like a real-life puzzle box of history, culture, and innovation.
That's a great way to put it.
I can't wait to go. Okay, but before I book my flight, tell me about the cultural scene. What are the must-sees in Amsterdam?
Well, you've got the Anne Frank House, which is, of course, a powerful reminder of World War II history.
Yeah.
And then you've got the museums. World-renowned museums.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the Rijksmuseum, home to masterpieces like Rembrandt's Night Watch, and the Van Gogh Museum.
Oh, of course, Van Gogh.
The Stedelijk Museum, that's for modern and contemporary art.
Okay, lots of art. What about music? I hear Amsterdam has a vibrant music scene.
It does. You've got everything from the world-famous Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra.
Wow, fancy.
To the Muziekgebouw, EIJ, that's more for contemporary music. And then you've got the Bimhuis, that's for jazz.
Oh, nice.
And then, of course, iconic venues like Paradiso, which is known for its eclectic mix.
So something for everyone.
Absolutely.
Wow, okay. So we've covered a lot of ground already. From its origins as a tiny village on a dam, to its innovative underwater bike parking, from a spice-fueled golden age to a modern hub for finance and tech, Amsterdam seems to have it all.
It really does. And just when you think you've got it figured out, there's one more surprise. It's list of partner cities.
Partner cities. What's so surprising about that?
Well, take a look at the list. It's a remarkably diverse group. You've got Beijing, representing the dynamism of the East.
Oh, wow.
Managua, the vibrant capital of Nicaragua.
Wow.
I mean, Amsterdam has connections with cities all across the globe. It really speaks to its global outlook and commitment to international collaboration.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I never would have guessed that.
And that's just a taste of what makes Amsterdam so fascinating. We've only just scratched the surface.
Exactly. Now we're getting to the good stuff.
It really is a fascinating place. You can see centuries of history just layered on top of each other.
I know, right? It's amazing. Okay, so we've talked about the city's incredible history, the unique engineering, those iconic canals. We can't forget, though, that Amsterdam has a reputation for being, well, pretty forward-thinking, especially when it comes to social policies.
You're right. Their approach to things like cannabis and the red light district has definitely sparked a lot of debate, both within the Netherlands and internationally.
Yeah, it's a very different approach than what you see in a lot of other countries.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about is, how do those policies actually work in practice? Have they, achieved what they set out to do?
Well, the idea behind these policies is harm reduction and regulation. So by bringing those activities out in the open, so to speak, they're able to implement safety measures and reduce criminal activity.
That makes sense. It's about pragmatism, and creating a safer environment for everyone. but there's got to be pushback, right? I mean, it's a pretty complex issue, I imagine.
It is. There's no doubt about that. There are a lot of ongoing discussions and adjustments to those policies. Like, for example, there have been efforts to limit the number of coffee shops.
Okay.
And to address concerns about, like, tourism in the red light district.
So they're not just setting a policy and forgetting about it.
Right. It's a constantly evolving situation.
It sounds like they're really actively evaluating and adapting as they go.
Exactly. Amsterdam is constantly looking for ways to strike that balance between personal freedom and, well, the well-being of the city and its residents. It's actually a pretty fascinating case study in social policy.
You know, speaking of adapting, I can't help but think about how Amsterdam has managed to stay relevant through the centuries. You know, I mean, from a spice trade hub to a modern center for finance and technology, they've clearly got a knack for reinvention.
It is remarkable. That's one of the things I find most remarkable about Amsterdam. They've embraced change and innovation while, still holding on to their unique identity. And I think it's that combination that makes them so successful.
So I gotta ask, from all the amazing things we've learned about Amsterdam today, what's the one thing you really want our listener to walk away thinking about? What's the big takeaway?
Well, I think Amsterdam's journey from those humble beginnings to its status as this global city is a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability and a willingness to embrace change. I think it's a story that offers hope and inspiration for the future. It shows us that even in the face of challenges, we can find, innovative solutions and create a better world.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Amsterdam truly is a city that embodies progress and possibility. And it just goes to show you never know what you'll uncover when you take a deep dive into, well, anything really. So until our next adventure, keep exploring and stay curious.
It's inspiring, isn't it? We started with a simple Wikipedia article, and look where we ended up.
I know, it's amazing what you can find when you really start digging.
Amsterdam is like a real-life example of what's possible when you combine innovation with a respect for history.
Yeah, and it reminds us that cities aren't static.
Right.
They're constantly changing and adapting, just like the people who live in them. Exactly. So for those of you listening, think about this. What's one thing you always thought you knew about Amsterdam?
Yeah. Has this deep dive changed your perspective at all?
I bet you learned a few things you didn't expect.
Like, who knew about the underwater bike parking garage?
I know, right? Or that they used to base taxes on, like, how much canal frontage your house had.
Amsterdam is full of those little quirks.
It really is. And that's what I love about these deep dives. You just never know what you're going to find.
It's all about discovery.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those Wikipedia tabs open.
You never know where they might lead.
Thanks for listening, everybody.